Warriors! XRP will make overnight millionaires like that. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now I'm going to dive right into this. Now, this is the silly thing that's happening right now is there's this bickering going back and forth in TikTok about, Xrpmy and this and that. I'm not going to attach to anything. If you guys know me personally or you've watched my stuff, I'm all about zero attachment. So I'm not attached to this or attached to that. I just love cryptocurrency. I'm an ex-banker who spent 12 years in banking, went to CBA executive banking school, and I know how to scale banks. I ran banks. I was a vice president of a bank. I understand banking. That's why I got so into XRP. I have a broad portfolio of 21 cryptocurrencies that I believe most of them are fundamental cryptocurrencies that are going to change the world. Now, the meme coins that I got into, I already got my initial investment out, so I'm complete house money. But the things that I invest in are fundamental cryptocurrencies that I can read and understand the protocol and the real world solve. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down for you why I think XRP is going to change the world and make overnight millionaires. Now, number one, XRP has been suppressed through this whole mini bull run we had. I don't think it's over. It's just my opinion, but it's been suppressed. It's been pushed down. It has not even hit its all-time high. So think about what's about to happen, Warriors. When this SEC lawsuit gets dropped, which most SEC lawsuits get settled, right? When it gets settled, it's going to be the biggest news in history. Why do you think BitBoy Crypto is talking about, hey, listen, he got news from another country, from America, that is going to take over the banking system, right? So think about that for just a moment. He's a high-level YouTuber, has a lot of connections, and he's talking about the fact that it's going to take over the banking system. Now, I've been saying that for over a year now because I understand XRP. Now, why would companies like Goldman Sachs be talking about it? Why would JPM make their JPM coin? Now, that's the biggest argument. Everybody's like, XRP is not going to take over every bank. Now, it may not take over every single bank. Just like you have a Samsung phone, just like you have an iPhone, just like you have a Nokia. Different banks will use different protocols. Do I think that the JPM coin is going to take over all banks? Absolutely not. If I was a bank owner, which I used to run banks, I didn't own a bank. I used to run banks and understand how to scale banks. I'm not going to use my competitor's coin, JPM coin, to run my bank. Think about that. That's not what we're going to do, Warriors. We would use an outside third party, right, that comes in that has a protocol that can help me increase liquidity so that I can lend more to my customers. Now, we're going to watch some videos. So first, we're going to look at this thing from May 21st, 2021 from Goldman Sachs, and it talks about crypto, a new asset class. Now, I've been sharing with you guys. We're going to go ahead and hit Command F, okay, right here on this document, and we're going to look up XRP, okay? So we're going to go right here and we're going to look at the top coins and tokens. Now, this is Goldman Sachs. Okay, this is their document and they list the top coins and tokens that they think. Now, what I think is going to happen is regulation is going to, let me get some water here. This XRP case is going to rush in regulation, right? And most of the bad actors are going to get wiped out in cryptocurrency. That's why if you're going to get into meme coins and all this stuff going on with Elon Musk, then this is your time. Other than that, once regulation comes in, you got to be very careful. But here's the top coins that they talk about. And this is in the Goldman Sachs. They got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Binance, ADA, Dogecoin, which is freaking awesome. I have almost all these cryptos. I don't have Binance. I don't have Tether, but I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I have Dogecoin. I've already got my initial investment out. I'm all house money. And then XRP right here. You got Polkadot. I got both of those. You got USD, you got Bitcoin Cash, Uniswap, Litecoin, Aave, Monero, and Algorand. Now, the ones that I have on my list here is Algorand, XRP, Polkadot, Dogecoin, Cardano, Ethereum, and I have a tiny bit of Bitcoin. I have my own narrative on Bitcoin, and I'm not against Bitcoin. I'm just not a big Bitcoin holder. I'm more Ethereum. Okay, now XRP is on this list from Goldman Sachs. And it says here it's a currency. It was launched in 2012. XRP is a real-time settlement system, exchange, and remittance network that facilitates cross-border payments for financial institutions. Simple. right? Nothing too complex. But let's listen to Brad Garlinghouse. This is from XRP videos. You can check this out on YouTube. Okay, this is a pretty cool thing that he created here. So we're going to watch this really quickly, and I think it messed up where my video is at. Let's see where we're at here. Boom. Okay, so we're going to watch this one first, okay? Then we're going to go to the next video. So we're going to watch this explanation from Brad Garlinghouse. This is back in, I think, 2017. We're going to let him explain what Ripple does, just so you can understand what Ripple does. Then we're going to listen to him at another conference explaining the cross-border payments. I'm going to explain the nostro vostro and the money being locked up and give you a better understanding from a banker's perspective.
Ripple is focused on solving the exact problem you described. How do we make cross-border payments massively more efficient for remittances from corporates? We use a digital asset called XRP as part of that flow. And we use XRP because it's 1,000 times faster than Bitcoin transactions, and 1,000 times cheaper than a Bitcoin transaction. We think the utility of XRP is such that it's the most efficient digital assets to solve this problem around cross-border payments. So Ripple, the company, is really building on top of this open source ecosystem that I call the XRP ecosystem. And Ripple's building vertically on top of that as a payments company.
Now, you've signed up a lot of real world clients, big banks as well, and they're using your Xcurrent products as well, but not necessarily using the XRP token, which has prompted a few people to ask, what's the value of XRP if it's not being used?
This is really important. Listen to this.
On a wide scale right now. How do you respond to that?
Well, the first problem that Ripple focused on is really engaging with those banks to solve a real world problem for them. So we've been successful, as you mentioned, signing up over 100 banks using a product we call Xcurrent. And Xcurrent allows two banks to settle in fiat, but basically in real time. Today, that takes days. It's very expensive and it has a very high error rate. There's as high as 6%. So that works when there's two.
What he's talking about, the SWIFT system.
Banks that are working together that already have fiat. If we wanted to go to a third bank where we don't have liquidity, where we don't have a pre-funded account, that's where a product like Xrpid comes into play. Xrpid uses XRP to fund real-time liquidity. So no longer do I have to pre-fund. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world, pre-funded between banks, between corporates, corporates at banks. If we can make those trillions of dollars more efficient, we make the entire global financial ecosystem more efficient.
Okay, so what he's talking about is when you walk into a bank in the SWIFT system, which is makes about 6% gets mistakes or gets messed up. What happens is he's saying that there's money locked up, right? I'm not sure if it's necessarily locked up, but as a bank, that's liquidity that we can use within the system to lend to our customers, right? We're in a low interest rate environment. Inflation is happening, right? You got Basel III hitting on June 28th. That's going to make them hold physical gold on a deposit for riskier assets. So banks are being squeezed. Banks have to move into blockchain to be more efficient, to free up liquidity, to become customer service banks, to serve their customers, to stay in the game. Think about it. When a CBDC comes out, Warriors, that pushes us to the central bank and pushes us away. It's like almost a modern day bank run from the commercial bank. So they are moving rapidly and efficiently towards blockchain technology. Now, here's Brad explaining a little bit deeper in regards to XRP and the protocol.
Whether that's measured by how long it takes, how much it costs, or remarkably, and some of you may have had this experience, how little transparency you have into the state of a transaction. I think that what's going to happen in many parts of the blockchain space is you have immense amount of just pure experimentation. It isn't real. They're not solving a real problem for real customers. I've been fond of saying that experiments are not a business model, or certainly not a sustainable business model. Ripple has decided, instead of going very horizontal and talk about lots of different.
See, this is important. I always talk to you guys the blockbuster moment. The reason why companies go out of business is not because they have good technology, it's because they have poor leadership. They have the best leadership. I know they can question me on that, but the way they think and the way they understand, listen to what he says. They're going deep, deep, deep. They're not trying to solve all the problems. They're trying to solve a remittance problem.
Use cases for blockchain. We've gone very deep in solving this cross-border payments problem. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't say how many, but we have well over 100 customers worldwide, about 50% of which are here in Asia. One bank that I'll highlight that has been certainly aggressive and progressive in their approach is Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand. And the work they've done is really setting them up to be a next generation hub and solving, as some in the correspondent banking community retract from some parts of the Southeast Asian market. Siam Commercial is actually solving that and using blockchain and even using digital assets to help solve that problem. So I think that while the speed and the dynamics that are solved from the transparency of a much better messaging system are profound, more importantly, I think, is how liquidity, and today, as many of the fintech community know, banks pre-fund accounts. There's almost $10 trillion parked as pre-funded accounts around the world, such that banks can then debit and credit and make those cross-border flows work. We have a product that allows banks, allows financial institutions, payment providers to not pre-fund, thus making that trillions of dollars more active. And we think by doing this, we really do accelerate the global engine of commerce in a way that is good for corporate, and also good for consumers at the remittance level. And I think truly one of the things we think about at Ripple is some of the populations that are most kind of penalized by the dynamics of remittance costs are those that can least afford it.
Okay, so this is important, Warriors. So a couple things to look at. Let's just take away the banking sector. There's a supply chain management problem, and the solve is going to be blockchain technology moving at the speed of light. So when your products and services move at the speed of light, wouldn't you expect your money at the speed of light? For example, if I buy lumber in Singapore, right? I'm just making this up, and I get my purchase order, everything's done in the speed of light. My stuff is done through blockchain technology. I get my invoice, and all of a sudden my lumber's on its way. If it takes 3 to 4 days to get my money using the SWIFT system through a wire transfer, that company's going to be pissed. Money needs to move at the speed of light. What's this doing? It's just freeing up locked up capital in the system. That's what it's doing. It's just like a messaging system, just like the internet. Instead of writing a letter to somebody, or instead of walking into a bank and me filling out a card and putting it into your file and having to call the other bank to let the other bank know that you took money out, so that's how they used to do it. Now it's just boom, it's messaging, boom, it's quick, it's fast, it's efficient. So I just want to pull people to a 30,000 foot overview and get people out of the arguments of XRP, Bitcoin. These are just protocols. They're technology. Yes, there's going to be new technology. Yes, there's Algorand, there's JPM coin, there's other systems that do the same types of things, DLT, distributed ledger technology. But there's Samsung, there's Apple, different companies are going to use different products. So you can go right to Ripple's website, and the Financial Times defines liquidity within a transaction as how easy it is to perform an exchange in particular security instrument, or the ease of converting an instrument into cash for withdrawal. This takes into account the stability of the price each instrument over the course of the transaction. And a financial transaction is an engine with moving parts and multiple factors that impacts its performance. Then liquidity is the oil that makes it move. Good, clean oil from the cheap and readily available liquidity means less risk, faster, smooth transaction. So this is the key right here. If you owned a bank, you want less risk, fast as possible, and smoother. The lowered risk, you're a risk manager when you run a bank, okay, is priceless for banks. Number two, the faster you can move transactions, the more you can move customers through the system, and the more you can charge for convenience. The higher your convenience and the better the product and service, the more you can charge. That's why we sit on our asses now and order stuff from Amazon, and we pay a delivery charge, right? It's fast, it's convenient, and it's a smooth transaction, right? And there's less risk. We don't have to get in our car and go into traffic. We can sit at home. Think about that. Think about Amazon. This is an Amazon moment for the financial institution. That's what you're investing in. Okay, so let's go a little bit further here. So I wanted to just show you from a physical, right? Some people are audible, some people are visual, right? So here's what the legacy system looks like. This is straight from Ripple. This is a sequential process that creates problems, right? So you have originating bank. I walk into Wells Fargo, step one. I actually fill out the wire transfer form, right? It sends it to the correspondent bank, which would probably be the central bank or the Federal Reserve, right? Then it has to move to the other corresponding bank, over to the beneficiary bank. So these would be the central banks. It's moving through the system, right? It's moving from Wells Fargo through the government system, or whatever you want to call it, the central bank. Boom, it's slowly moving through. It takes about 2 to 4 days. So what we used to tell our customers, it has to move up and through the Federal Reserve, back down to the other Nostro Vostro account to be able to get your money. Now there's liquidity risks. There's also exchange rates. If you mess up the freaking wire transfer and you're doing $1 million wire transfer, there's huge risk to the bank. So there's no payment tracking or status information available. You're just hoping it makes it onto the other side, right? Uncertainty, fees, and total costs unknown. unknown to sender. So that's what we're talking about here. So there's delays. It's a long process. There's risk. There's no tracking. Once it leaves, we would sit there and the customer would check with us a million times at the bank. We're like, we'll let you know when it hits, right? Fees, you got exchange rates. You got, there could be mistakes. You don't know what the fees are on the other side. And then you have Ripple is a coordinated process enables new benefits. You got speed, payments settle in real time instead of literally real time. Boom. All of a sudden, you have your money to buy that house in Europe. Transparency, end-to-end tracking, and status of payments. You literally can see exactly what's happening. Certainty, total cost and messaging details confirmed before initiation, and low cost, reduced failed payments and costly intervention errors. So who benefits from this? The customer. And also, guess what? If the cost is less, the bank can still charge the same amount to move it for convenience, and their profit margin goes up through the roof. So if your lending profit margin is getting squeezed, right, this frees up capital to be able to lend more. This also frees your ability to add more, or the fee, you get more of the fee. The banks are going to be customer service. They're going to custody your crypto, and they're going to be remittance banks. They're going to be like Western Union. That's how they're going to survive, Warriors. So I just wanted to share this thing with you guys. I know there's some weird arguments going back and forth on TikTok and stuff. I'll never get involved in that type of stuff. It's not my thing. I'm just here to help inform people. I'm a mature adult. I don't go back and forth. As you see, I don't respond to hate comments, or if I do, I laugh at them. I'm just here to inform people. Here's what I know about XRP. If it works for you, great. Well, I'm not trying to get you to believe a word I say. I'm not even a financial advisor. I wouldn't even take my advice in regards to investing. You should always make your own decisions. What I do is I have a Warrior Academy where you can actually see my exact portfolio. You can see my exact exit strategy. We have a Discord where I go live 3 times a week privately with my Warriors. We have a cryptocurrency call. We have a technical analysis call. We have a research team that's answering questions in our private social media network. Most of all, we have our 120-day challenge. There's nothing like this in history. We have subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision board creation. You basically create a whole vision for your life, right? Subconscious mind programming, goal setting, as I talked about. If you choose to, you can work out with us live daily. Nutrition, we have everything. This is a whole life overhaul. There's nothing like it in the world. There is zero risk to you. We want a mutual value exchange. We give 100% money back guarantee. There's zero risk. The only thing you have to gain is health, mindset, and some really, really cool friends in the community of over 2,000 warriors worldwide. So click the link down below in the description. You can join our free Facebook group. You can join our Warrior Academy, risk-free, 100% money back guarantee. If there's no mutual value exchange, you hit up our customer service line and we give you your money back. As we always say, Warriors, rise. I'll be going live around 12 or 1 o'clock to share with you guys real-time news updates. Let's go.